Well, hello everyone and welcome to the Econobox garage. The aim for this episode is to get the rear valance patch panel ready to weld in. There are parts on the way from the UK, so I won't be able to finish the job, but I should be able to get a really good start. Please be sure to like and subscribe, hit that little bell icon, and I always appreciate your comments. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoy the video. The brackets for the rear overriders are on their way, so they bolt into the holes here and here. While I'm waiting for that, I'm going to do some body work and straighten this out here. It's really hard to see. I did try it with a small slide hammer, it just wasn't good enough. So I'll just get the hammer and dolly into that. And there's a dent on this side as well, and I'll work on that. And then I will also going to trim right along the bottom of the tape here, which corresponds to the bottom of the tape along the rear valance here. Once I've got done on the body, I'll come and cut along this line here, but I'm going to leave tabs sticking up like this here in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots. I'm going to make those tabs the same depth as my flanging tool. This will make a lot more sense when I get to it, I hope. The idea is I will flange these ones outwards so that they sit on the surface of the body. Then I can drill holes in each of those tabs, corresponding holes in the body, and then use Cleco fasteners to fasten that up. And with it being flanged, that means that the cut along here theoretically will line up exactly with the cut along the body and allow me to get that weld nice and straight. And once the spaces in between are welded, I'll cut each of the tabs off and weld that little section in there. So that's the theory, and we'll have to see how that pans out. And there's lots of extra space on the bottom here. So I measured the existing body from the bottom of the license number plate recess to the bottom of the panel, and it comes in right about along this line here. But I can trim that once it's all done. Okay, this edge is nice and even along the bottom of the tape. Okay, I've got the top edge of the patch panel cut out roughly, and you can see the tab left these tabs on. Now I've marked them. You can see the line hit here, and that's on each of the tabs. That lines up with the flange that's created with the flanging tool. So I know that when I put the tool on there, that'll go on this edge here. When I pull the trigger, the actual bend will be right along that edge. Okay, now I have all these little tabs done with the flange tool. And you can see on the back side the bend lines up right with the cut. Before I go and put this into place though, I have to clean up this corner with a bit of the old bodywork in here, so I got to drill out a couple of welds and then cut the beading out here before I can put the new piece in place. Well, after spending quite a bit of time playing around with this and fettling and shaping and what have you, I have the patch panel attached to the body using these Cleco fasteners. And now you can see what I was talking about with these tabs with the flange on them. So the back side of the flange sits flush with here, so this all lines up pretty close all the way along. I'll have to adjust this end here because that gap's just too wide to fill with weld, and then I'm going to have to figure out how I'm actually going to weld this part together, and that I have a feeling I may end up doing this without replacing the bead and just weld this joint up after modifying that edge. And then on the other side, I don't have a shrinker stretcher, so you can see I've cut some slots in here on this end. And this will have to be trimmed at the bottom here once we get that. So the bottom edge of the floor pan isn't too far off, and but that's a task for another day. So that took me quite a bit longer than I thought it might, but I guess that's the nature of these kind of projects. Still have to get creative because these profiles don't quite line up between the original and the replacement panel. It seems to be worse on this side than it is on the other. The basic idea with going with this route with the little tabs and that is I can tack weld each few places in between those Cleco fasteners, and once those welds are done I can pop the fastener out, cut this little tab off, and go from there. But that way at least the panel gets held into place. So that's it for this week's episode in the Econobox Garage. Thanks for joining me. Please be sure to like, subscribe, hit the little bell icon so you get notified when the next videos come out. And please be sure to leave a comment. I really appreciate that. So my name is Ian. This is the Econobox Garage. We'll see you next time.